Hello viewers, I thought we were done with the Christmas videos, but inherently we're not. My uncle gave me some lights that he wanted me to fix, so I figured I'll fix them on video. We have a star here, and this is going to be a little more interesting to fix because we have to get it open somehow. If I recall correctly, there's just one bulb that's out on that, and then we have, looks like 2 strings of mini lights. And I have some replacement bulbs that my grandfather gave me of all different voltages. So anyways, let's see what we have to work with here. Plug up the star. Okay, so looks like there's several bulbs out here, maybe 3 or 4, 5, 6. So I think what we're going to do, 7, 8, okay, so there's a lot of bulbs out. So we're going to replace all the bulbs in here because this is getting old. I think this is about 20 years old. So those bulbs are probably all towards the end of their lifespan anyways. Kilowatt meter has been running for several days, I guess. I'll turn that off. And let's see what we have here as far as these lights go. These look like they're relatively new. I thought I saw 2 plugs. This may be a 1 string of 300. Okay, so it looks like the first half is out, and a couple of bulbs out here and there. We'll replace those. Alright, so that shouldn't be too bad. I'll take care of this. I'm going to try to use the Lightkeeper Pro on this. See what happens. I don't know how many segments this is broken up into. Usually it's segments of 50. This looks like it could be a segment of 100 that's out. So we'll fix that. And is it? It shouldn't be a white light, so we'll replace that with a colored one as well. And then for purposes of ease, I'm going to plug this in down here so we can work on that like that. So first thing I want to do is see how easy or difficult it's going to be to get into the star. Now it is already coming apart. This is old enough that I wouldn't be surprised if it's made to come apart. Oh, that was certainly easy. So we have a lot of bulbs out in here. I think this can do different things. Yeah, it can flash. Here's the informations. Chasing. Which, you know what? This may actually be two segments of lights, and one of them is out. Yeah, that's what it is. A whole segment is out. Okay, so we're going to need a lot of bulbs to do this. Let's take everything out of here. Something's loose too. So I'd like to see, are we going to have, yeah, it's going to be 2, so let's see how many bulbs we have total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So it's probably going to be 2 sets of 30, 15, 120 divided by 15. I'm going to say these are 12 volt bulbs that it's taken. So I'm going to go upstairs and get some 12 volt bulbs. Unless these are 12 volts. No, those are 3.5 or 2.5. Those are definitely 3.5. Those are 3. Alright, I'm going to get some volts from upstairs. You know there's something wrong with you when you go to the store and you take the whole carton off the shelf. Let's see here, 12 volts. 12 volts. Sometimes these open nicely, sometimes they don't. This one did not. Alright, so just to check and make sure this is working, or it's the right voltage rather, take one out of the working set, put a new one in, because I'm going to change them all anyways. And let's make sure this is the right voltage. Okay, that is in fact the right voltage. So, I'm going to notate that this one works. Okay, I'm just going to replace these individually here because I want to keep these ones that work because they're not worthless. But I want to put them in something that's a little bit easier to change out than this star is. So I'll go quick through this part. I'm just going to go through and change every single bulb, and that should restore this to a working product. Okay, so that circuit has all new bulbs in it. I'm going to go through and change the rest out now, and I'm going to unplug it because oh, this is going to be tricky. I think this one may be in the same circuit. Okay, at least if it's every other one, then I'll know which ones to change out, because if I plug it in, I leave it plugged in and I go to change out any of the other bulbs without changing all of them at the same time, they're just going to burn out. Alright, so this one is every other one from here out, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, let's test that out. It's looking pretty good. Excuse me. Let's see, is this one? That's on its own circuit. Let's see what about this one. This one's on that circuit, so we'll change this one out as well. Okay, so that should be all of these lights. Wait a minute, there's something up with this bulb. That bulb is defective. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good picture of this or not. I'm going to try. There you go. You can see the filament is like elongated, and it's touching the post on the tall side much sooner than it should be. Here's what a normal one looks like, the one that's not in the base. Can't get a good picture of it. There we go. See how the filament's not touching the side like it is on that one? So that bulb, I've really never seen that before actually. That's kind of odd. But that bulb is kind of defective. I'll put that with the other working ones that are questionable. Normally I would just use it, but for something like this, which is at the top of the tree, not easy to get to, not easy to take apart. I wasn't hard to take apart, but it's certainly not convenient. I want good working bulbs in here so it doesn't make a hassle again. Alright, so now I can kind of finagle these lights back in here. It's not going to be too easy, I don't think. I'll put this in quick as well. Oh, it's all blurry. What the heck? I think this camera is getting kind of tired. It's been focusing less and less recently. And there's plenty of light here in the studio. There's no reason it should be having a focusing problem. Alright, that was rather annoying. So I think what I'm going to do for this, the inside string, is just pull them out one at a time, replace it, and put it back. Because trying to figure out how the wires was routed in there was not too easy. Okay, so that should be every bulb replaced, and looks like it's all working. So now if we change the other effects, that's kind of neat. I wonder how this works. I can't imagine this is microprocessor based. Who knows? Anyways, so now we got to get this thing back together and get it to stay back together. I don't really see what was holding it on, so I suspect we're going to have to do some gluing. Got it to a point where it's closing properly now. Let's check and make sure it still works. So now we're going to glue it back. Alright, so there's the star, all glued back together, and complete working bulbs. Turn the lights off here so we can get a better view of what it looks like. I'll cycle through the different features it has. It's so fast, it's ridiculous. It's as slow as it goes. And it's pretty much infinite range to faster setting. And then on steady. Maybe I'll give it back to him with it set like that, just so he thinks maybe there's something wrong with it. Alright, so let's wrap this one up here. I had this kind of wrapped up a little bit. I don't remember exactly how it was, but let's do this for now. And some of these old plastic tabs broke. We'll just stick them back in there for now. Maybe I'll fix them next time I have it open. Okay, so let's get on to this string of lights. This here is a jar I collect every year of all the bulbs that go out. This is what we got from this year so far. It's a lot of bulbs. Oh, this has to go back on this star. This is broken. I don't know exactly what we could do to fix that. Probably could glue a clothespin or something to it, maybe 2 clothespins. We didn't mention anything about that, so I'm not going to fuss with that. I just wanted the lights to get fixed. So we're probably going to use this, or we're going to use this. It probably will work, but I don't know for certain. And this is a string of 300, I think. So we'll just pick a random bulb. This one looks good. Now let's see if this will fix it. There we go. It fixed it. The string has quite a few bulbs burned out, so we got to go through it and replace all those. But it looks like my earlier speculation was correct. There's 2 segments out. Even the strings of 100, they almost always go in segments of 50. Here's another segment that's out. And there we go. This has pulled through again. And this is completely working now. Aside from these burned out bulbs. So let's start replacing the bulbs. I'll just go through that real quick on a quick motion or whatever it's called. This is going to be one of those strings that's not straightforward, because this bulb, which is 2.5 volts, is not the right brightness. So I think this is going to end up being a 3.5 volt string. Okay, let's try one of these 3.5 volt bulbs. These are kind of hard to find. So if this is what it takes, that's kind of annoying. It is a 3.5 volt string. I only have 19 3.5 volt bulbs remaining, so hopefully that's enough to finish this. There's several of these in there. I know I said before I was going to replace them with colored bulbs, but due to the scarcity of the 3.5 volt colored bulbs, I did not replace them. In fact, I started putting them in because I have a lot of these in white. There is another issue here that I see with this base. I don't know what in the world transpired here. I think it looks like this is the wrong kind of base that got shaved down to jam in there. It's not leaving my shop like that. I have thousands of different bases. I'll find one that's going to fit in here. Here we go. It looks like it should fit. So let's take this out of there. I'm going to put this into here. And I don't think it's an exact replacement, but it's certainly very close. And it should work. So let's see what transpires here. Yep, it fits perfectly. So now we can take that notation off of there because that's resolved. It's not going to come out, it's not loose or anything. Okay, good. Alright, so that is the completion of the repair. Let's make sure this thing still works. I don't see why it wouldn't, but these things do crazy stuff sometimes. It does still work. Now we just have to untangle this and get it back in the box, and we'll be ready for next year.